I call to order the Thomasville City Council meeting for Monday, May 19th, 2025. Welcome all of you here in the council chambers this evening. We're pleased to have you with us. Two of our members are absent at the moment. One that has an excused absence for the meeting is Lisa Shell. And Councilmember Peyton Williams, she should be along a little bit later. She had a conflict that she had to take care of. We also welcome tonight those representing our city schools. The only one I see is Miss Nancy Staten from our school board. So welcome to you tonight. Also welcome any member of the press that might be present, anyone joining us tonight on our website or over social media. Mr. City Manager, do we have any additions or deletions to our agenda this evening?
Good afternoon, Mayor and Council. I actually have two additions to tonight's meeting. I have a proclamation that I would like to add as item 4D, proclamation for Amateur Radio Operators Week, June 22nd through the 28th, 2025. And then I'd also like to add a closed session under item 8, and to renumber item 8 to number 9 and number 9 to number 10. And that closed session is for personnel.
Okay, you've heard this. What's the pleasure of council?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as amended by our city manager.
Is there any discussion? Okay, you may enter your vote.
All right, what I do here, tap my screen, there you go.
Okay, we have 5 in the affirmative, so the agenda has been approved. We're now down to our public forum, and we have 2 people signed up tonight. You will be allowed to speak on the subject of your choice for 2 minutes. So the first one tonight is Terry Beard, and if you would please come forward to the stand, and if you would state your name and your subject for the clerk, please.
My name is Terry Beard, and I am here to talk about the noise ordinance. Good evening. My name is Terry Beard, and I live on Cable Street. I'm 68 years old and recovering from cancer. I'm still receiving treatments. So it's my right to have peace in my own home. I would like to address the noise ordinance. There's often very large parties outside in yards with amplified music or live bands. The sound is very audible in my home. It rumbles through the house. You cannot drown it out with TV or anything else, which we shouldn't have to. That's comparable to listening to TV and radio in the same room. We have even replaced all the windows and doors in our home to fight this. The most recent was May 10th. It was 4 houses from mine. The ordinance states that if the noise is loud, unnecessary, or disturbing the peace, it is in violation. It also states that the noise should not be heard over 50 feet from the origin where the noise is. The distance from my property line to their property line is approximately 265 feet. That far exceeds the limit. I was told that I could hear the party in my home because we're so close. I was also told that the partygoers were asked to lower the noise as a goodwill measure. They decided not to, and it went on for hours. There are venues that should be used when there are large parties so as not to disrupt the peace for the whole neighborhood. We live in a neighborhood, not a nightclub, a residential neighborhood. I would like for someone to clarify the ordinance so I can understand where my right to peace on my own property lies. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. The next one to sign up, I think, is Christina Blackman. If you would come forward and please state your name, I may not have it right.
My name is Christina Blackman. The lady who just spoke is my sister. And I also would like to talk about the noise ordinance and the big parties that are held in our neighborhoods. You won't believe that there are people who have live bands who come to perform in neighborhood yards. And I realize that the noise ordinance is 50 feet from the street, but our houses are not even 25 feet apart. And it's really not pleasant, or it can even be frightening to make a complaint against a neighbor who has their whole family, all their friends, and they celebrate every single occasion that they can there at their house, clogging up the whole street. And when the police come to address the matter, they might turn it down. Maybe they can or maybe they can't, whether or not they're using a band or they're using amplified music or if they're using a DJ. Perhaps they can't do that. But they might make some adjustment until the police go away, and then it's right back to where it is. The windows have been shaken in my home. I have considered going to a hotel and then wondered if I could ask the city to reimburse me for going to that hotel because it wasn't enforced, because this noise ordinance wasn't enforced. So I too am making a plea that if a complaint is made about a big party that is more like a nightclub than a yard, we're in neighborhood yards, that be enforced and that everybody be respected in our neighborhoods. That's all I have to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ma'am. We're now down to recognition and presentations. First, item A is proclamation, National Public Works Week, May 18 through 24. Councilmember Doug Hunt.
Thank you, Darryl. Come up here with me. Good, sir. Proclamation for National Public Works Week. Whereas Public Works focuses on infrastructure systems, facilities, and services that are vital importance to the health, safety, and comfort of this community. And whereas these services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of our public work professionals, who are responsible for streets, public buildings, and grounds, solid waste collection, preparation for cleanup after events, holiday decorations, lighting downtown, annual leaf pickup, maintaining fleet, posting road signs, and blocking roads as needed for public safety and in police and fire emergencies, and other such essential services that affect the daily lives of Thomasville residents, businesses, and visitors. Whereas it is in the public's best interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children to gain knowledge and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in the city of Thomasville. And whereas 2025 marks the 65th annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. This year's theme of people, purpose, and presence highlights how public works makes communities safer, more vibrant, and a better place to live. Whether providing waste pickup or making roads and sidewalks passable after a winter weather event, Public Works is always there when people need them. Therefore, Raleigh York Jr., the mayor of the city of Thomasville, North Carolina, does hereby proclaim the week of May 18th through 24th, 2025 as National Public Works Week, and extends sincere appreciation and gratitude to our public work professionals for the vital contributions they perform in protecting our community's health, safety, and quality of life, as well as their exemplary dedication to our community. Signed by the mayor of Raleigh York and attested by Wendy Martin. And I would like to thank you for the work that your party, that your people do, because it's well done, and you always take care of us. Do you like to say something?
Mayor and council, thank you for this recognition. what we do sometimes is, it's one of the toughest jobs we feel like in the city, but we do thank you for all your support. Thank you.
Our next proclamation is National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And, I think Linda Mason is here
Yes,
to receive this.
yes.
Originally, this event was scheduled for June 7th, and I got your email.
Yes.
So it will be June the 21st. And this has gone out with the 7th on it, but we'll fix you a new one.
Okay.
And I will present it again at the event
Thank you.
on that Saturday with the corrected date. All right.
Mhm.
Proclamation designating June 21st, 2025 as National Gun Violence Awareness Day. Whereas gun violence exists an enormous toll on Americans with thousands of gun homicides every year. And support for the Second Amendment rights of law-abiding citizens goes hand in hand with keeping guns away from people with dangerous histories. And whereas to help honor the thousands of Americans whose lives are cut short and the countless survivors injured by shootings every day, June 21st is designated as National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And whereas June 21st, 2025 will be the 11th National Gun Violence Awareness Day, anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on June 21st to help raise awareness about gun violence and to honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe. Now therefore be it resolved, I, Raleigh York Jr., Mayor, hereby proclaims June 21st, 2025 to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in Thomasville. And I encourage all citizens to support the community efforts to prevent the horrific effect of gun violence, to honor and value human lives, and to join events throughout Wear Orange Weekend, June 6th through the 8th. Proclaim this 20th day of May, 2024, signed Raleigh York Jr. Mayor. And I'll give you a chance to make some remarks, and I'll just keep this one, and I'll have yours ready for the 21st and give it to you at that time.
I appreciate
Okay,
it.
thank you.
Thank you. I am Linda Melton, and I live here in the city of Thomasville. And me and my family started this, joined in with this campaign back in about 5 years ago. I lost my son on May 28th of 2020. And so as a positive taken out of losing him, then we have stayed with this for the last 5 years, just trying to bring awareness to our community that this is real. It's a real knock that comes to your door. It pierces your heart. And it's an ongoing process. I often tell people it's an emotional roller coaster. So I just ask all of you that have the time out on the 21st of June to come out to the Doak Park and support. It's 1 to 6. We have fun out there to try to help people that have lost their loved ones. And then there's the other side that lost their loved ones, you know, because there's two sides to this. And so we just ask you to come out and support and, you know, join in with our community that we can actually have a day out and it's a safe day. You know, we appreciate the police department. They've been there with us, you know, and so many others, and the support of the city council and the mayor. So we just ask you all to come out and support if you can. Thanks.
Thank you. Our next proclamation birthday of the United States Army, June 14th. Councilmember Neil Grimes.
I would ask, excuse me, General Bud Martin to join me if you would, please. And before I share the proclamation, I'd like to make a couple of comments. Monday, the 26th, will be the 35th annual North Carolina Memorial Day Parade and Ceremony here in Thomasville. Hopefully everybody's aware of that. You've been before, you enjoy it, you like to come back. It's a lot of folks put a lot of work in it, but it's for the whole state, it's for the whole world. It's probably the largest parade, Memorial Day parade around. We honor Gold Star families, which is a wonderful thing. But this is the 250th birthday of the United States Army. That's a big achievement from 1775 to 2025. This is an important year. Oh, Memorial Day, there's pamphlets over there. It starts Saturday at the Vietnam Wall on Interstate 85. There's a ceremony down there at 10 o'clock. But if you get the brochure before you leave, there's a list of all of the activities in there. We'd love to have you come. Everything's free. We have the 208th Army Band, a free concert at Finch Auditorium on Sunday night. Free. Please come on out. 250 years ago, on April 19th of this year, last month, the American Revolution started 250 years ago. On June the 14th, as you'll hear in a minute, the United States Army was formed 250 years ago. On October the 13th, 250 years ago, 1775, the United States Navy was created. On November the 10th, 1775, 250 years ago, the United States Marine Corps was formed. A lot of history in these 250 years. So please come to Memorial Day. Proclamation recognizing the 250th birthday of the United States Army. Whereas on June 14, 1775, the Second Continental Congress, representing the citizens of 13 American colonies, authorized the establishment of the Continental Army. And whereas the collective expression of the pursuit of personal freedom that caused the authorization and organization of the United States Army led to the adoption of the Declaration of Independence and the codification of the new nation's basic principles and values in the Constitution. And whereas for the past 250 years, the United States Army's central mission has been to fight and win the nation's wars. And whereas the motto of "This Will Defend" is the creed by which the American soldier lives and serves. And whereas no matter what the cause, location, or magnitude of future conflicts, the nation can rely on the United States Army to provide well-trained, well-led, and highly motivated soldiers to carry out the missions entrusted to them. And whereas the components of the United States Army, to include the Army National Guard, the United States Army Reserves, and the regular Army, have contributed immensely to health and natural disaster response. And whereas members of the City of Thomasville have proudly served and made the ultimate sacrifice, Memorial Day, for our nation's freedom while serving in the United States Army and other branches of our nation's military. Now, therefore, Raleigh York Jr., Mayor of the City of Thomasville, North Carolina, does hereby proclaim June the 14th, 2025, to be the United States Army's 250th birthday, expressing appreciation on behalf of the people of Thomasville to the United States Army and to the dedicated soldiers who have served in it for over 250 years, as it has been in existence. This, the 19th day of May, 2025, signed Raleigh York Jr. June the 14th is also Flag Day every year. So you see your flags flying, fly 'em proudly. General Martin is the former Deputy Adjutant General of the North Carolina Army National Guard and currently serves as the civilian aide to the Secretary of the Army. It's an honor to have you here, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Could I get someone to take a picture?
Right there's the picture.
Could you take a picture, please?
Y'all pick one of these up and you go out. And thank you to anybody out there that's a veteran.
And I think if a general standing up here, he always has to say something, right? And you can't ever. First thing I want to do is tell you that I live in North Davidson County, lived there for 30-some years, and I have been a member of the Memorial Day Parade for ever since almost its inception. Not exactly, because until I got a call from General Leonard one time when I was in the National Guard, but I've been a part of that, and I think Thomasville, it's a great patriotic community, and your mayor and all of them are involved, and I just love the fact that what Thomasville does every Memorial Day to recognize those who gave the ultimate sacrifice and the families, because they all suffer, not just, as you talked about the gun thing, it's not just the person who may have fired the gun, but that family as well as the one that's the victim. So I think, and I will also make another announcement at the Veterans Breakfast. If you're a veteran at Richard Childress Racing on June 11th, we're going to have a birthday celebration, Army birthday celebration. We'll have sheet cakes with the 250th Army birthday, and we will have a special guest, and right now the best I can say, it will be a cabinet member from our president, President Trump. So we will have a cabinet member there to speak. We'll have some young ladies and men who will be sworn in for the first time to join our great Army. So if you're a veteran or even not, come out, enjoy some cake, and participate with all our veterans. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, General.
Before we proceed, if you have served in the United States Army, I know that Neil welcomed you, but please stand.
Or
if you,
any branch of
well,
service.
the Army first.
Okay.
Yeah, for Army.
That's us.
Now, if you've served in any service, please stand and join the Army. Sure.
Oh, no. Thank you, Daddy. I salute all of you.
Yes.
I want to salute our first responders as well, because I know what you do every day as well. So I'm going to interrupt.
Thank you. Our next proclamation is Amateur Radio Operators Week, and Councilmember Scott Stires will present this.
Start over.
Tongue-tied. Doggone.
I sense that there might be several.
There's a few of us.
That's great. We're glad to have you. Come on up. Come on up. Welcome. This proclamation is for Amateur Radio Operators Week, June 22nd to June 28th, 2025. Whereas for over a century, amateur or ham operators, radio operators, have stood ready to serve during times of emergency, providing communications to protect life and property through the use of their skills in advanced communications technologies. And whereas the city of Thomasville of North Carolina recognizes and appreciates the diligence of these hams, who also serve as weather spotters in the Skywarn program of the National Weather Service. And whereas amateur radio operators have provided countless hours of community services, both at emergencies and to other local organizations throughout the decade, wholly uncompensated. And whereas the ARRL Amateur Radio Field Day exercise will be held on June 28th, 29th, 2025. This event will feature a 24-hour emergency preparedness exercise and demonstration of the radio amateur skills and readiness to provide self-supporting communications without further infrastructure being required. Therefore, Raleigh York Jr., Mayor of the City of Thomasville, North Carolina, does hereby proclaim June 22nd through 28th, 2025 as Amateur Radio Operators Week in Thomasville, North Carolina, honoring these hams who stand ready to serve whenever their skills may be necessary. In witness whereof, the mayor has set his hand and affixed the seal of the City of Thomasville, North Carolina, this 19th day of May, 2025. Signed, Raleigh York Jr., Mayor. Thank you very much. Would you like to say something?
We'd like to thank Mayor York and the entire council for recognizing and supporting the amateur radio community. We applaud your understanding and the priority you have given to the importance of emergency preparedness. We have partnered with the Thomasville Rescue Squad in order to be equipped as an available asset to the community in case of an unfortunate event that negatively affects standard communications avenues, such as happened in Western North Carolina last year. We appreciate the civil service that you all provide and share your selfless values. Thank you again for this proclamation. Thank you.
Give you a copy of the proclamation. She wants us to get a quick picture. Y'all come on over here.
Yeah,
If you want to email them to us.
Okay.
Come on, spread out over here. Get everybody
We're a
in.
little bit too wide.
All right, no. There you go.
We like each other.
We don't have a radio.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
guys.
Thank you very much. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you.
Now down to our consent agenda. I recognize Deputy City Manager.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So we have 3 items on our consent agenda for tonight. The first item is consideration of the minutes from the briefing meeting dated April 14th, 2025. Item B is consideration of minutes of the council meeting dated April 21st, 2025. And item C is consideration of budget amendment 2025 P11-01. This amendment appropriates $15,000 of grant funding in the administration department for a National League of Cities grant, Southern Cities Economic Inclusion Initiative program to establish a business incubator to support minority, women, and veteran-owned businesses in the community. Also, $71,000 of interest revenue is appropriated for the cost of converting streetlights to LED bulbs. And that's your consent agenda as presented for this evening.
Okay, thank you very much. What's the pleasure of council?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we approve the consent agenda for tonight's meeting.
Is there a second? Second. Any discussion? You may register your vote. Okay, we have a 6-0 vote in the affirmative, so that has been approved. We're now down to our regular agenda. Item A is consideration of acceptance of an AED donation from Davidson County EMS grant. I want to recognize our Chief of Emergency Management, Sam Oshinsky.
Good evening, all. I do have a couple of visitors I'd like to bring before you tonight. Ms. Lisa Monk with Duke University, our training coordinator for Davidson County EMS, Ms. Amanda Knight, and our emergency services chief, Alton Haynes. Ms. Monk's going to give you an overview real fast of the race cars trial program, and then Amanda's going to talk about how we're doing this in Davidson County, and then Chief's going to handle some more.
Great. So thank you, everybody. I'm Lisa Monk, as you said, from Duke, and I'm working closely with Davidson EMS, fire, law enforcement, 911, the hospitals in the community. There are 350,000 cardiac arrests per year, and unfortunately, less than 10% of those survive. Many of you may be familiar with Damar Hamlin. About 2 years ago on national TV, took a hard hit to the chest and had a cardiac arrest. So we got to see what happens when it's recognized, when CPR is started immediately, and when they get the shock box or the AED out and apply it. But unfortunately, it doesn't happen. And in your county, which is, you have volunteer as part, fire as part of your work, when they call out a cardiac arrest, usually fire is the quickest to get there. But unfortunately, many times they don't have the equipment that they need and they're coming from home. So by placing an AED outside, either the public could respond and or fire could swing by and potentially pick that up. So the work that you all are doing is saving lives. And the reality is we've got to do something. It's a statistic that hasn't changed in 40 years. So thank you all for having me, and I applaud the work that Davidson County is doing to improve survival for your community members.
So the AED and the box that you see before you, we received as part of our work on the research trial with Duke. We got an allotment of free AEDs and free boxes. So we've done a lot of work in locating where all the AEDs in our county are and also where all cardiac arrests happen. So when you take those two maps and stack them on top of each other, you see where there's a hot spot where we have cardiac arrest, but we don't have an AED in a reasonable vicinity. And some of the places where cardiac arrests happen are where there are large groups of people. So this box, we had talked with Sam and Chief Myers at the fire department and determined that on Main Street, somewhere in the vicinity of the city hall or the gazebo, somewhere right there would be a good area to have one because it's readily available to a kind of several businesses there. It's the area for your everybody's day, that kind of thing. So we've want to donate this AED and this box to the city for placement in that area so that if there is a cardiac arrest, it's available for the public.
Thank you. Chief Haynes, any words? Yes, sir.
I just want to thank you for allowing your folks, police and fire both, to grouping in with this cooperation with us. We have an excellent working relationship with Thomasville City's folks, and I want to applaud you for it, like I said, because that means a lot to us and helps us do our job.
Thank you, sir. I know in the community meetings I didn't have this box totally ready. One additional thing that we did put in this box is the cellular device that anytime this box is opened, it will dial 911, letting them know that somebody's opened the box. So that's also an added benefit. When they call 911, they'll be able to do a map layer and say that you can go 30 feet out of your door and go grab this AED. But yeah, any questions, anything? All right. Thank y'all so much. Thank you. Absolutely.
Our next item, item D, presentation of manager's budget message, and call for public hearing on Monday, June 2nd, 6 p.m. at 20 Stadium Drive, Thomasville, NC. This is city manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I know this is really why everyone came today. Nothing more fun than talk about a $58 million budget. It is my pleasure to formally present the City of Thomasville's recommended fiscal year 25-26 budget for your review and consideration. The document serves as a resource allocation plan that meets the requirements of Section 159-11 of the North Carolina General Statutes by being balanced and prepared into the principles and rules of the Local Government Budget and Fiscal Control Act and the city's fiscal policy currently in effect. The proposed budget meets the vision of City Council of building a better Thomasville together, and the budget presented is balanced in the amount of $58,778,599. The bulk of that is in the general fund and in the water sewer enterprise fund. The general fund is budgeted at $39,436,598, and the water sewer enterprise fund is balanced at $17,166,353. The proposed tax rate is 62 cents per $100 of assessed valuation, which is the same as previous year. And the budget has been filed with the city clerk for public viewing. In addition, the budget is available on the city's website at thomasville-nc.gov. The budget process begins in September of each year with the staff developing proposed capital purchases of equipment and facility improvements. These are then integrated into a citywide community improvement plan that is reviewed and approved by City Council. In January, the City Council held a two-day strategic planning meeting to establish priorities and discuss issues facing the community. And in this process, we focused on how do we serve the community through the departments, which is customer-focused. How do we run the operations efficiently and effectively, which is our internal business processes. How do we manage our resources to ensure that our infrastructure is being maintained while preserving and enhancing our financial position? And how do we develop our personnel through informal and formal training opportunities? The proposed budget recommends an average water sewer utility rate increase of 4.3% based on the 2022 rate study recommendations that we are still operating under. Our personnel are the lifeblood of the city, and that is where the bulk of our funds go, because we provide services to the community, and that takes people to do that. Our workforce is well-trained and qualified in developing and maintaining the high quality of life for the citizens. City Council has been very focused on the city employees over the past couple of years, and we appreciate that effort, because without a strong employee base, it is difficult to provide those services to the community. We are recommending a cost of living adjustment of 3% for all employees effective July 1st, 2025. Employer-provided employee health insurance premiums are increasing 4.1%. However, we were working with our healthcare provider. We are able to offer additional reductions in our dependent care coverage for families and children that are paid for by the employee. The contribution to the local government employees retirement system, which is mandated through the retirement system by the state, is increasing to 14.4% for the general and firefighter class employees and 16.04% for law enforcement. This expense is based on individual salaries for each full-time employee. And a most significant change from previous years, and was discussed with City Council since January, was the addition of 15 new full-time positions that are proposed. 12 of these are in the general fund and 3 are in the utility fund. The budget proposes $1,355,841 of capital improvements. This ranges everything from server equipment to new vehicles, and an activity bus for Parks and Recreation is included in there, along with upgrades to various facilities. In the utility fund, there is a proposed capital improvements of $1,188,359, and this also includes water treatment plant upgrades, such as the basin repair and service pumps. Also includes vehicles and engineering fees for various water projects and sewer projects underway. I mentioned there are additional staff recommendations that are in the budget. These are proposed to be partial year additions to our staff. It includes a fire inspector level 3, 3 firefighters, 1 for each shift, a civilian traffic crash investigator in the police department, a network administrator in the MIS department, an office support 2 position in the Public Works Department, a permitting assistant in the Planning and Community Development Department, a Parks and Recreation worker, Class 1, a Parks and Recreation Program Coordinator, and a Golf Course Assistant Superintendent and a Golf Course Assistant Professional. In the utility fund, it includes a utility locator, a inventory specialist in that area, and also 2 additional laborers within the water and in the maintenance and construction. The City Council has also recommended the funding of outside agencies. The budget proposes that the PACE Group receive $34,000 in total funds. They are our downtown economic development group. The City Beautification Commission received $50,000 for the work that they do in maintaining all of the city properties with the flowers that everyone loves every year and other services. The Martin Luther King Jr. Peace Conference received $1,500. And the Thomasville Farmers Market received $15,000. The city charges a Thomasville City School supplemental school tax of 19.5 cents, which generates $1.9 million. This is a slight increase from previous years. These funds are transferred to the Thomasville City Schools to support operations of the school system. In conclusion, this fiscal year budget for all city personnel, operations, equipment, and capital improvements and debt service is $58,778,599. This is a 6.6% increase over previous year's budget, mostly due to those additions of staff. A summary of the departments, it will be included in the documents that when they get online that give more information about the expenditures within the budget. Thomasville is blessed with a strong and loyal workforce that truly wants to provide its citizens with quality services. The budget, if fully implemented, provides the resources necessary for them to maintain and even expand service levels of our citizens as they come to expect. I look forward to working with council and staff as we serve the community and work toward meeting the vision of building a better Thomasville together. While this budget proposal is the city managers and quite honestly the finance officers, it is neither final nor necessarily a reflection of what will be approved by City Council. Once adopted, the budget may be amended by City Council at any regular or special meeting. The mayor and council will review the recommended budget and receive comments at a public hearing scheduled for Monday, June 2nd, 2025 at 6 p.m. here at the City Council chambers. I'd like to thank the City Council, department managers, and staff for their hard work and support while developing this budget. Especially want to thank Thomas Avant, Finance Director, and Eric Crepes, Assistant Finance Director, for the many hours of work that they have undertaken to ensure the accuracy and completeness of this budget document. And if you have any questions, please contact me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. What's the pleasure of council with regard to accepting the manager's budget message and call for public hearing on Monday, June 2nd at 6 p.m. here in this building?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to accept the manager's budget message and call for public hearing on Monday, June 2nd at 6 p.m., 20 Stadium Drive, Thomasville.
Second, okay. Motion second. Is there any discussion?
I just want to make one quick clarifying point. The amount allocated to the school is bigger, but the rate is the same. Okay. Cool. I just wanted to put that out there. Thank you guys. I know that's a tremendous amount of work. So,
Any other discussion or questions or anything? Okay, you may record your vote. So this has been approved 6-0 unanimously.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
point of order. Item 6A said consideration of acceptance. Should we have had a vote on that item? I don't think there's any doubt what the result will be,
I
but
guess we should have.
can we do that at this
We
point?
can. We will. Okay, let's go back to item A. Do I have a motion that we accept the donation from Davidson County EMS grant?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Now, any discussion? And thank you again for providing this. I think most of them's gone, but but Sam's still here. Now, any discussion or anything? Okay. You may record your vote. And it's 6-0, so that has been approved. Now we'll go down to item C, consideration of proposed pay and classification study. Mr. City Manager.
Thank you. As the council is aware, we have done a salary and classification study. The first cohort of a three-part process to review the salaries of all of city employees. This particular cohort included the police department, the planning and community development department, which includes inspections and engineering, along with that, with the planning and community development. Also included is the finance department, which also includes the billing and collections and the meter services department within that purview. Staff is recommending that you adopt the Piedmont Regional Council's proposal for the rate study, which includes the adoption of the Appendix A, which is the document within the personnel policy that sets the grades for all positions in the city. Any grade changes that take place would be at a 2.5% change per grade. What this means is if a position is grade 21 and it goes to a grade 23, then the incumbent would receive a 5% increase because of the 2-grade change. Also that you would adopt the recommendation whose any current incumbent employee who after the grade change is making less than the grade would be moved to the minimum of the grade. So in some cases, there would be individuals that would receive more than the 2.5 per grade change, depending on how they would fall out in that process. And they would all be moved to the minimum of that grade. And then fourth, they adopt the recommended additional annual salary adjustment of $10 per month for each month of service an employee has worked within their current position and assigned grade. What this is an attempt to do is to address compression within the employee base so that an employee that has served for many years within a grade would receive additional funds than someone who just got a promotion into that grade, just to try to separate them as appropriate in their responsible duties and recognition of their service to the city. So that is our recommendations to you, and we seek approval of the salary study implementation. Effective May 25th. May 25th.
Okay, what's the pleasure of council?
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the proposed pay and classification study as described by the manager effective May the 25th of this year.
Is there a second?
Second. I'll defer.
Okay, any discussion? Okay, you may record your vote. And we have 6-0 in the affirmative, so that item has been approved. We're now down to item D, consideration of approval of permitting specialist 1 position. Mr. City Manager.
All right, we're basically switching out a position that had already been approved by the city council for an engineering tech position that was approved for this current fiscal year but was never filled. After review with the community development department and the engineering division, it was determined that in order to serve the community best would be to get another permitting specialist operational in that department. As you know, there's a lot of development going on right now, and we are implementing new software to help streamline it, but it is also a significant change in the number of permits coming through. So what we're asking you to do is approve this position of a permit specialist now, and we would fill it as soon as possible. And then the engineering tech position that we already had open, that had already been approved, would get delayed and not implemented until the end of this, January 1st of 2026. with the other positions. I know that this coming right on the heels of what we already presented as part of the budget is kind of an odd situation, but we feel it is much more important to have this position filled as soon as possible instead of waiting another 6-8 months to fill it. So I do ask that you approve this position. This is a new position within the organization, so you have to approve the grade. You have to approve the position so it can exist within our personnel policy.
Okay. What's the pleasure of council?
Mr. Mayor, I'll make a motion that we move to approve the permitting specialist 1 position as requested by the city manager.
Is there a second? Second. Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, you may register your vote. And we have 6-0, so that has been approved. We're now down to item E, consideration of acceptance of property donation, tax parcel ID 16069000E001, located at the corner of National Highway and Council Street. I'm going to recognize Councilmember Jaquez Johnson, our real estate chairman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I'm going to make a motion that we table the consideration of the acceptance of the property donation and move it to our committee meetings for further discussion.
Okay, we have a motion. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Okay, you may record your vote. And the vote is 6-0, so that item has been tabled to our next meeting, and it will be referred back to committee for additional study. Thank you very much. Item F is consideration of resolution to direct the city clerk to investigate the sufficiency of a petition for annexation of 129 Kennedy Road. This is has been a request from property owner at that location, and by approving this, the city clerk will take on the task of investigating the sufficiency of this petition, and she will bring it back to the council when she has finished her work on that. So what's the pleasure of council?
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we direct our city clerk to investigate the sufficiency of the petition of annexation of 129 Kennedy Road.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, we have a motion second. Any discussion? Okay, you may record your vote. So that has been approved unanimously. We're now down to our committee reports and appointments, and I'll start this evening with Mayor Pro Tem Doug Hunt.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Been an eventful month, a lot of stuff going on around the city, especially this morning when we went to the legislative meeting. Found out a little bit more about the new program that the planning and zoning thing. So it was interesting to know where they were coming from on that. So, I have given the clerk a copy of my activities, and I'll let that stand as my report.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Scott Stires.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Councilman Hunt opened that door, but I'm not going to walk through it. The clerk has a copy of my activities, and I'm going to, for once, keep my mouth shut, and that'll stand as my report.
Well, you asked the question.
I didn't get an answer.
Councilmember Hunter Thrift.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I do want to highlight some of the Memorial Day activities that are going on this week. Councilman Grimes covered several of them, but I'm going to read these off to you. We do have our Vietnam Wall ceremony that takes place Saturday at 10 a.m. We will then have our Gathering of Warriors, which will be hosted at First Baptist Church here in town. That will be Saturday, May 24th at 5 p.m. And then Sunday, we have our 208th Army Band concert. You don't need a ticket for that. It is free. It's kind of like our hidden gem. Folks love it when they go to it. So please, if you're available, try to attend that for us. And then Monday morning, we'll have our parade and then finish up with our ceremonies. down at Cushwa Stadium, and then the Special Forces paratroopers will come in with the big American flag, weather permitting, and that's always something to see as well. And we could not do this, all these events, without the participation of the city, Parks and Recreation, and the golf course for the golf carts, fire department for the radios that we use, and just there's so many ways that the city partners with our committee to make this event happen, and we really appreciate that. I do want to mention one thing that I did this past month that I really enjoyed. I was invited by the 3057 Boy Scout troop that meet at Grace Lutheran Church to talk about municipal elections. And I was answering questions and talking to kids from kindergarten to 5th grade. And they had some really good questions. I spent about an hour and a half talking with them about how municipal elections work, and hopefully they're going to come visit one of our council meetings here in the next few months. So I'm excited for them to come and share that with us. But I did submit a copy of my activities to the clerk, and I will let that stand as my report.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Neil Grimes.
I kind of pontificated with the presentation of the proclamation, and that with the promise that I will forward a copy of my report. I'll let that stand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Councilmember Peyton Williams.
I will claim Neil's pontificating time as my own, so I get double. Thank you, Neil. No, I did not send Wendy a copy of my activities yet, but I will, I promise. Michael presented the budget. If you can believe it, the 11-page document had even more information than what he shared. So it takes a lot to run a city, and it's one of the appreciations I've learned to have being up here on council. $58 million is a lot of money, and somebody has to account for every single dollar, and that's our finance department. They do a fantastic job. It's easy, and like on the best days, very fun to sit up here and be like, it'd be really nice if we hired 12 other people, or it'd be great if we had a dog park or whatever. But then there's a whole army of people who work for the city who make all of that happen. When we started talking about adding the positions, I was watching Thomas's face, and we said that, and he just got this like 1,000-yard stare in his eyes, because he was like, I'm going to have to figure that out. And he did, and they do. So I'm very grateful for all of the people who work for the city. It's really cool to see this budget, because I think it reflects the financial position that we enjoy. It more closely, it probably never will, but it more closely reflects the value that we place on our employees and the hard work that they do. So I'm very excited about it. If you want to read the 11 pages, they're worth it, that Michael wrote. And then the whole budget, you probably don't want to look at, but you can if you want to. We also celebrated Teacher Appreciation Week in May, and I know we have 2 fine educators up here. So thank you guys for what you do. And I think I will let that stand as my report.
All right. Thank you very much. Councilmember Jacquemus Johnson.
Thank you so much, Mayor York. And I definitely wanted to take a moment again to recognize our Public Works Department, who definitely does a lot of work in our city and oftentimes are a little bit left behind the scenes. And to Mr. Darrell Poole and the entire Public Works Department, thank you truly for your work. This year it hits a little different. We lost a longtime member of that family, Mr. Frank Harrison, who served Thomasville for 22 years. Frank wasn't just a hard worker. He was the kind of man who could make you laugh even on your worst days. He had a presence about him that made the job feel lighter and life feel fuller. His passing has left a hole, not just in that department, but in this entire community. And I want to take a moment to his family and to the Public Works team to know that we see you, we appreciate you, and you are in our prayers. We also celebrated National Police Week last week and had the honor of participating in events that pay tribute to the men and women who put on that uniform and serve our community faithfully every day. Had the opportunity to run alongside some of our officers and our sheriff members, and that was a great opportunity to really raise money for our Special Olympics to ensure that they can continue to participate in that event free of charge. And as we approach Memorial Day, a time of reflection and remembrance, may we also take a moment to honor all of the men and women who serve in uniform. And I will let that, I have submitted a copy of my activities, as it was a very, very busy month, but I'll let that stand as my report. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I've had a fairly busy month. I'm going to list some of the things that I've done, not elaborate on any of them too much, maybe. We had another class of one Thomasville. That's an orientation class for our new employees. City manager may say something about that in his report, so I'm not going to say too much, but I was able to come and meet with them and have some time with them, so I enjoyed that. Participated in the National Day of Prayer at the Clock Tower uptown. We had a fairly good crowd there. I think this is the first year that we've done it since, I don't know, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe since COVID. So that has been started back now, and it was a good time up there that we had. Attended the CIS volunteer luncheon at the Woman's Club. Of course, Hunter directs the CIS group, and they have a great group of volunteers, and they do a lot of good work with our students in our local school system. And so we're thankful for that. Also attended the Painted Pianos event on East Main Street. This is an event where artists from town and around the area come and paint a piano, certain theme for that piano. And then citizens will come and enjoy the evening with food trucks and other activities. And for those that can play the piano, they're welcome to sit down and play, and they do. So that was a good event on that day. I participated in Employee Appreciation Day here in this building. It's a time when our employees can come. We serve them a luncheon, and then they can see some of the services that are available for them as an employee of the city. And so that was a good day. Had a lot of turnout for that. I was at the Junior ROTC banquet last Thursday evening, and Councilman Johnson was there as well. And I was able to present Colonel Merkel. He's led that group for the past, I think it's 16 years. He is a fine man. He's done a lot with our youth here in town through that program. And I presented him with one of the challenge coins of the city of Thomasville. And he didn't know what to say, I don't think. He's always built up those around him. He's always recognized them, and he hadn't received a lot of recognition in return through the years. So I was able to do that, and I was glad of that. I also attended the Police Week Memorial Service the same day as the Junior ROTC event. And just this afternoon, we had a ribbon cutting at the new fitness court at Central Rec. So you'll be seeing that, and more work is going to be done at Central Recreation in the weeks and months ahead. And we're developing a recreation campus there on Main Street. More things to come as time moves on. And that concludes my report, so I'll go now to our city manager, Mr. Brandt.
Ditto. One item that did not get mentioned that I do want to mention to the community is our pool facility opens this weekend. Saturday is opening day. They'll be open the next 2 weekends only, and then the weekend of June 6th, 7th, they will be open for the rest of the summer, except for a few days that they'll be closed. The third Monday of every month, I believe that they plan on being closed, which just so happens to be city council meeting. I wonder how that happened. That's what you get when you build your council chambers inside a pool. I am very excited about this facility. Obviously, this is our third year opening, and we really look forward to a good year, safe year for the kids. We are going to be able to provide free swim lessons, so we are looking forward to that to help the community. It's a critical need that everyone should know how to at least dog paddle to get out of trouble, whatever that trouble may be, whether it's here at a pool or at their own pool at their own home, or if they are at the beach or at the lake. So I encourage you to enroll kids into swim lessons. So much was covered by other council members that I will let that stand. I know that Mr. Bowling has a few comments that he would like to make.
Thank you very much. Our city attorney, Ms. Whitman.
Good evening. Lots has been shared. I just want to just bring you up to speed that we've been working diligently on acquiring all the necessary easements that we need to finish up any of the Rains Road sewer and all that pump station work and everything that's going on there. So that is, from a legal standpoint, is coming along well. I've also been working with Chief Carter on coming up with a new potential ordinance regarding towing from private lots that we hope to present to you at committees. We're not sure if we're going to have it ready at committees. It may be the following month, but we are working diligently on that. And that's all I've got for an update this evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Our Deputy City Manager, Mr. Bowling.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have 3 updates I'd like to share. First and foremost, we've had a long, arduous process over the last couple of months to determine who the next IT director would be, and I'm happy to announce that Michael made the offer last week to our interim director, Damon Hartwell, and he accepted the position. So we're excited that our internal candidate stood the test of time and rose to the top over all the candidates. That, and I will say that we had a number of candidates from across the country. And so it was a very tough process to get through, and we're excited to work with him to kind of continue building that department in the direction we'd like to see it go. Also mentioned, had the opportunity to represent Thomasville at the Cities Today Institute in New Orleans last week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. It was a special invitation Thomasville got to sit at the table with 20 cities from across North America and talk about digital transformation. It was even more exciting to be able to sit at the table and talk about the progress that Thomasville was making and look at some of the much larger cities across the country and see that we stacked up better in some cases than they did, and able to bring a lot of information back about digital transformation and also innovation and how it relates to our community. So it was a real exciting opportunity, and I'm thankful for that opportunity to be able to represent our community. Last thing I'll mention, special thank you to the Memorial Day Parade Committee. I want to end it on a positive note. Very thankful for all that they do. I know that there's hours upon hours they go in and a number of volunteers to make this weekend's event successful. And so we're thankful for that and thankful to have that in our community where most communities do not. So that's my report. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. We're now down to additions and updates. Does anyone have any additions or updates?
Closed session.
Oh, sorry. I didn't look what I had pinned in. We're now down to item 8, closed session. We need a motion going to closed session. Is there a second? Any discussion?
Only to point out that that is for personnel, Mr. Mayor.
Yeah, for personnel. Okay, you may record your vote. All right, we have 6-0, so we're now in closed session.